I just unmuted the mic.
Okay.
Don't say anything.
Untoward. We are, the people can hear us. Chat, can you hear us? His name was Matthew. He was my booth boy. But then the audio was down and he didn't frown.
Because he will fix it.
He fixed it. Okay, cool.
Now we gotta
Time for another
we gotta finish the song.
very professional intro. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of NightMayr. Oh, wow. Our guest tonight, actual friend, a friend of not only the show, but of me personally, comedian, rock star. He's done so much. You can see him.
Chrissie, you just showed your phone password again.
It's fine. It's fine. No, it's good. You can see him next Saturday, January 31st at Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Wow. And also, you can listen to his new podcast, Red, Right, and True. It's going to be every Wednesday, 6 to 7 o'clock on America First Warehouse, theamericafirstwarehouse.com. Then this is going to debut next month.
Right, Wednesday, February 4th.
Wednesday, February 4th. So set your TiVos, everyone.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, Joe Currie.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Oh
so
my
good to
gosh.
see you.
This is so exciting. There's so much to talk about, but oh my goodness. I just bumped into you at the Governor's Comedy Club holiday party, which happens in January.
Every Martin Luther King birthday.
Which is so smart to do because December is overwhelmed with, it becomes stressful at a certain point. Like, I'm always happy at the beginning of December. I'm like, yay. But then you just, I don't know. I create a lot of stress for myself, usually around, what color wrapping paper to buy. And that's things of that nature. Bows, invisible tape, regular tape, scotch tape. These are the things I stress about. So I'm happy that this holiday party was in January.
Yeah, especially with me because I work for a private company. I do Santa Claus shows.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
You're a Santa Claus?
Yeah.
Like a mall Santa Claus?
Not a mall Santa Clauses are easy. That's an easy job.
They're easy. That's a hard job.
Yeah, no, it's not. Okay.
Yes, it is. You
All
have
right,
to
tell
be
me why.
sober all day. You
know,
have to
for
have
me,
kids
that's
on your life. You have to not be a creep.
Okay.
You have to
Here's the deal.
not hit on the moms.
That's tough. But here's the deal about mall Santa between me that I go out and do private
First
shows.
of all, your beard is not even at Santa length.
Oh, I have a beard.
Oh, okay.
I have a big full beard.
I would say you should try to grow it out.
Those guys make a lot. Those guys make a lot of money. The mall Santas make a lot of money.
Because what, they have to maintain that beard all year long?
Beard. And the thing about those guys is that being Santa is like being a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
So those guys are all in with that all year long. They want to be Santa all year long.
And they should, because it's like an important gig. Like my toddler thinks that anybody with a beard, I'm talking, if you have even a little bit of a white beard, he thinks it's Santa. Like, he thinks we saw Santa in the Panera. He thinks we saw Santa like in a couple different at the TGI Fridays.
When it's time to sit with Santa, how old is he now?
He's 21 months.
All right, 21 months. Now that's the perfect. Now
he's done it twice now.
How does he freak out or whatever?
Well, the first time he nailed it because he was 8 months old or 7 or 8, 9. I don't know. He didn't know where he was or what's going on.
Right.
He's a baby. He's like, just shitting himself all day. So he did great. But he freaked out a little bit the second time. And the mall Santa told me the secret. I don't know if I've shared this with anybody on stream yet. The secret. Oh, thank you, Raider, for the super chat. Thank you for the 7316. King of the chat. Thank you, Raider. The secret to having your kid visit Santa at the mall is to not even tell him where you are. Like, just be sneaky about it. Don't even let him make eye contact with Santa. Just sneak up and then just plop him on Santa's lap, back away, quick, get the photo. Yay. And then before he realizes what's going on, you have like a good, fun photo of him. What all parents do wrong is that they go, oh, he needs to warm up to Santa. He needs to, oh, look, there's Santa. We're approaching Santa. There he is. Look, we're in line for Santa. And so he has all this time to freak out and be like, I don't know that dude. Now I'm on his lap. Now he's holding me. Like,
yes, it usually doesn't, I mean, he's had a lot of luck because in my instances, when they bring the child, you want to see what's it? Nah, and he start, freaking out. And what happens is they try to drop him on my lap. And now I've got this little Wolverine on my lap fighting me. Ah!
Yeah.
So what they usually do is what I tell the parents is, why don't you grab the baby and just sit next to me with them, because they're comfortable with you. They're next to me.
But the adults don't want to be on the Christmas card because a lot of us are overweight. A lot of us have let ourselves go. So we're just like, let's let the baby and Santa be the focal point of the picture and the card.
The parents get in the picture when they tried everything.
Yeah.
They tried everything.
When it's the last resort because we're not trying to be in that picture.
3 years old to 4 years old is when they start calming down.
Okay.
But then they freak out. But the thing about a mall Santa is it's an easier gig than the gig. What I do is I go to private parties. And the difference is...
Oh, that could be sexual.
It's, well, there was the one time at the restaurant.
What?
But when you're a mall Santa, you sit there. You don't have to carry anything. When you do a private party, I have to go there. I have to bring my bag that's got my...
Your sack.
Yeah, my sack with my stories and this, that, and the other thing. I also have to bring my boombox with the carols. And also...
Hold on, you still have a boombox in 2026?
Well, I have an iPod that goes to it. It's nice and small, and it works on that. And
Remember iPods?
Yeah,
wow, guys.
it's handy dandy, works every time. But then you have the parents will have, oh, we left the toys out front of the porch. Could you put them in your other bag? And meanwhile, it's a Alfonso hanger full of toys that you got to put this back. So you're holding that bag, you're holding your bag of stuff, you're holding your plate, and you're banging on the door, and you're knocking on the door. Oh, nobody's answering the door, and I'm like, Mary, open the fucking Mary.
And the kids are looking at the window like, Santa, the chimney's up there.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing going through the front door?
They're banging on, you're banging on the door. It's like, I'm here. Open the goddamn door. And then you get in there, and then you have to go. So there's a lot to it.
Who's hiring you to do these?
There's an agency in Jersey called Beauty and the Beast. She's actually, that's actually her last year. She's retiring. She's been doing it for years. But I think my buddy's taking it over. But I've been working for her for 18 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And how I got started in it, comic Doug Karff?
No.
Doug Karff, very funny guy, runs out of Jersey. Doug is the kind of guy that he will tell you what you're doing. And it's like when he used to run a mic, he'd go like, you're coming back 2 Wednesdays from now. Well, I don't know. You'll be here. So about 19 years ago, we were working together, and he goes, the book it does Santa Claus, so you should be Santa. And I go, I don't want to be. You're going to be Santa Claus, you call her. And I went there, and
you're very jolly. I can see.
And it worked out. So I've been doing it. I mean, the only exception was the year before, 2024, when I was disabled. I was out for a heart procedure. But I was back this year. It's really really good, and it's fun. And you have the same families. And the thing about it is that you share. I have family upstate. I don't have family on Long Island. I live alone. So Christmas Eve, I've been sharing Christmas Eve with these 3 families for years and years and years. And the year before, when I couldn't go, I'm sitting at home alone. It broke my heart because this was my Christmas with them.
Wait, on Christmas, a family will rent you?
Yeah, I did 4 Christmas Eve shows this past Christmas Eve. 3 of the families I've been going to the house for years and years and years and years. And years.
This is so interesting to me. Do they have you go the same time every Christmas Eve?
It depends.
Like the 3 families that share you, like you do appetizers with one family.
Yeah, you go there. You do 30-minute shows, and what you do is you go in.
Are you doing stand up at all?
It depends. I could goof around a little bit, but I go in and I sing a couple of Christmas carols. I read the night before Christmas.
Wow. Acapella?
I could do, yeah.
Wow.
I do the night. I read the story. Then we hand out the toys. We take photos, and the shows are 30 minutes. So basically, they're spaced out where I can get to everybody on time. Sometimes, if the booker makes a mistake logistically, which happened about 2 years ago, it's a problem, but it's always worked like, ran like clockwork.
And
it's
how
good.
long do you stay at each place?
30 on Christmas Eve, 30 minutes. There are other shows that I'll be there for an hour, 2
30
hours.
minutes is quick to like get in.
It goes quick. Sometimes I'll do, I've done a couple of shows this year that were 2 hours at, there was an assisted living home where they had the people coming in with their families and,
And the assisted living people, they know you're not Santa. They're like old enough to be like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. But the kid, you got to stay in character. You want a beer, Santa? Oh no, thank you. I don't want to get a DWS driving while slaying. Nonsense like that. But
hey, you need to have a lot of Santa puns just ready to go.
yeah, there was one time though. I was doing Santa Claus during the day, and I had a spot at the Brokerage Comedy Club at night. So I was
in Belmore?
Belmore. So I'm running a little late. So I call up and I call the owner's son, James Jr. And I go, James, I'm running a little late. He goes, what are you? I go, I'm doing a Santa Claus. He goes, are you dressed as Santa now? And I go, yeah. He goes, hold on for a second. So he gets on the phone. He goes, my dad wants you to come and do a show as Santa. James Dolce.
Oh, wow.
James, and he's the boss. Do what the boss says. I showed up. I went on stage in character. I did about 20 minutes as Dirty Santa.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. only did that work. I only did that once, but it was kind of fun to do.
What was it around Christmas time?
It was Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then it would work. Yeah, you can't be doing that in January.
No, they'll think I'm a mental patient. Yeah.
That is so neat.
Yeah.
Do you ever get hit on as Santa?
And, there was one time there was a restaurant in Bergen County where they were having their Christmas parties, and I went there, and there was all these knockout girls, and I'm on the dance floor with all of them
As Santa.
And I think some of them have like a Santa fantasy.
A Santa fetish? I'm sure it's a thing.
Yeah, and I'm like, this rules.
Yeah, it's very, you're giving daddy energy.
Yeah.
People who, the women that like stuff paid for, sure, they'll be into it. And women who, I don't know why I'm looking at Matt, like the gifts are their love language. They'll be into it.
They want my candy cane, I don't know.
They want your candy cane. They want to go to the North Pole.
I think one of the funniest things I ever did, I did a Greek Orthodox christening. And it was Christmas party, Greek Orthodox Christmas party.
You were baptizing the baby?
No, yeah. But the funny thing is that you're pretty much babysitting these kids for 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
So this kid comes up to me, he goes, you're not really Santa Claus. And I go, yes, I am.
And you're gay.
Yeah. Mommy, I'm gay. No.
Mommy, Santa knew I was
He
gay.
goes, you're not really Santa Claus. And I go, yes, I am. Because Santa could speak all different languages.
Uh-oh.
No, no.
They just pimped you into that.
Oh, no. Got plan B going, my dear. My buddy Alex that lived 2 doors up when we grew up was a Greek guy, and his mom used to teach us this Greek love song. So when the kid goes, you don't speak other languages. You're not Santa. I go, yes, I am. No, you're not. He backed the fuck up.
Good.
I put the fear of God in him.
You do like just a fake Chinese accent too, just to mix it up.
Thank God.
Oh my God, Santa knows Chinese too.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah,
good. I'm glad you're putting children in their place.
Yeah.
How dare they? That's neat. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So, wow. I never expected you would be in the Santa business. What's interesting about you is we met like years ago, I think through Compound Media. Because you were a regular on Anthony's show and you're like one of his besties.
Yeah.
But even before that, like you went to high school with Anthony Cumia.
I've known him and the funny thing with being on the show is there's one time I'm over at the house playing cards. I go, Aunt, can I ask a favor? Yeah, what do you want? And I go, can I be on the show?
Just like that?
He goes, when was the last time you were on the show? Never. You never were on my show? I know.
When was this? What year was this?
It had to be about maybe 7 years ago, whatever. It's just a little longer. Because
he started the network, I think, in what 2015 or 16.
Yeah, it was pretty much almost a year after everything got rolling.
Okay, so maybe 2017.
Because he's doing Opie and Anthony a lot. But I go, could I be on the show? She goes, well, when was the last time you're on? I go, I never was. It goes, you were never on the show. He almost got choked up. It's like, I can't.
He snubbed you.
He didn't realize it.
And you were too nice to say anything.
I've known, because I knew he was, he was getting everything underway, and I would go there every day because
you waited a whole year before saying
because
anything.
I wanted him to get, everything to get off the ground. Because basically, when he started,
you wanted him to figure it out for himself, but then when he did, you're like, okay.
I don't have that time. But the thing about it's amazing when a project is on paper and then it gets underway. Because when he was starting Compound Media, we were going to do, I was on a writing staff, we had a writing staff. I was on the writing staff. We were going to do this and, we were going to do this, that, and the other. And then when it got rolling, when it actually got rolling, it took a different dynamic. So it never went that way, which is, it is what it is because the show was really good.
So was it going to start like Opie and Anthony? Was it going to be more similar to the old show, or
it was going to be? We were going to do a lot of bits. We were going to do a lot of sketch. Ant always liked sketches, and him and I always liked sketches. And this was a chance where we could probably do some sketches. So we came on. Joe was coming on to help with the sketches, brother Joe, and music. And I do music too. So we had where we want.
You had a lot
on paper
planned.
where what he wanted to do with it. But when it got underway, certain things, when they get underway, they fit into a pattern and they work, and it's like, all right, we'll just go this way with it.
You're a very cool person because there's a lot of people, especially like comedians, like knowing how they are, who would have felt very slighted by that and would have had probably a chip on their shoulder. Like, I was supposed to be part of this show in a certain way, and now I'm not.
I'll tell you why. Because when you grow up with him and you grow up with Adam Ferrara, and these two guys get off the couch and they wind up having these great careers. And I've been doing okay. I don't have anything that they have.
Are they all three of you from Long Island?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know Adam was too.
Well, Adam, I met basically worked at this fence guy, Wall Woodman Fence. And my buddy Joe goes, yeah, this guy Adam is starting tomorrow. You're going to like him. He's a funny guy. And Adam started the next day, and we just dicked around all day making jokes. So I go to Anthony's apartment at the end of the day, and I go, look, come to the OBI on Friday. There's this guy, Adam Ferrari, you got to meet. And it's like, we got our friends. I go, no, you don't understand. He's one of us. And he goes, no, I go, he's one of, and then it was off to the, off the races. But the thing about the two of them, where I never had any jealousy, they're the best of the best. I mean, I watch Ant. I've been one of his biggest fans since we met in high school. I was doing a show one time, a Firehouse show, 300 people. I'm headlining. I destroyed the place. I get in the car. Adam's headlining at Governor's. I sit down and I watch him. I go, I can never be this good ever, 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 ever. So when you watch two guys that are so good that that you will never be as good as, but you admire them so much, there's really no jealousy there. I mean, if they were both hacks and stuff like that, I'd be kind of bummed. I mean, really, but. They're both at the top of their game. They're both, noted names out there, and they're both, it's always a learning experience. So yeah, I never get tired of talking about them. I never a bit of jealousy because they've just been so good.
That's shocking though, because most male comics have an ego and I don't know, you just seem you've always seemed very grateful for everything, and you have a great attitude, and I don't know, I just feel like over the years I've met so many people, and it's just you'll encounter more like, oh, I should be this or that. I should be at this level. Why is this?
But it's always on.
Stuff and
but
I
it's
don't.
always on you to do that. It's always on you to do that. Like my website, my video. Like if you go, well, what was me? Well, no,
Your website, currieinahurry.com.
Yeah, but my website has been down for a year because I've been so busy with other stuff I haven't been able to get it going. My videos are ancient. I have a whole bunch of new videos that I got to sit and edit, but it takes so much time. But there is something that I've been questioning myself about it.
You mean stand-up videos?
It's stand-up videos,
Okay.
yeah. But there was something that I've been having a problem with, and then I always swore if I was going to be bitter, I would quit. But it's not a bitter. It's like when I was recuperating from a heart surgery, I'm home for 6 weeks and I'm watching a lot of these comics, and I'm not misogynistic. I was raised by women.
You can be misogynistic on this show.
But I was raised by women. There's female comics I think are unbelievably talented.
None of them are in this room, but they are out there.
I love you. But there are a lot of female comics on there that are posting stuff on, and they're awful. They're awful. And I tell them they're awful. And there was one that I got into it with, and she goes, you know, what are you doing? She goes, I'm selling out theaters. And I go, well, you better be banking the money, because I go.
These Long Island comics, or just from all over?
No, all over, not really Long Island comics, but and she, I posted a couple of silly things I posted. She goes, oh, look at what your idea of comedy is. I go, oh, good, it's about time we got some humor on your page. That's nice. So what she did was she took a picture of me.
Who is this?
I legitimately forgot her name.
Okay.
But
she's so forgettable.
Yeah. But she found a picture of me online, and I'm wearing an Anthony Cumia show hat. I was at my buddy's party or something like that. And she goes, oh, an Opie and Anthony cuck, I see. And then I took a screenshot of me, Ant, and Adam paneling on Anthony's show. It's like, you know. Uh-huh. Because what I think the problem is that they're posting stuff, and there's people saying post as much as you can, and I don't think they're ready yet. And they're posting all this stuff, and my buddy Davin told me, because I don't know why you bother doing this. I go, you know why? Because they're killing comedy. They're killing the bit.
Who is?
These women that post this god awful
Women
stuff.
are killing comedy.
No, not
Quote Joe Currie on that.
No. These women that are just not ready. And what the problem is that people see them and go, I'm not going to go to a club and pay for this, you know, and it's hurting the rest of us. Or
they see them and they go, I'm never going to see a female comic.
Or something like that.
Just, it's terrible. They ruin it for everybody else. But you know what? That could be said of male comics too that aren't ready.
No, absolutely. But there just seems to be more female comics on reels. And I think why is because they talk about sexuality, and guys get off on that. You know, and I think that's what reels them in, you know, so they're kind of using.
And like they're pretty, right? Like I don't know. I feel like algorithms are tipped in the favor of like pretty women a lot of times, and especially like on Instagram too. I find like more female comics are on Instagram rather than Twitter. Yeah, which is funny.
And there's Taylor Tomlinson. I think is phenomenal. You're great.
Taylor fell off. She was like she had her own show. She was hosting her own like at midnight style show, and then that fell off. I don't know what she's doing now.
No, she's back. She's just touring. I think she took a break. She's got a new hour, and she's going back out. You know, and you know, and I follow her career, and you could see that. You know, I think it was everything all the time. And we are human beings, you know. It gets to a point. I think, and I'm just speculating. Don't write to me. Don't have her yell at me. I don't.
She just was like chilling out.
She might have needed to chill and maybe work on a new hour and just and you know, and kick back, you know. But I've always thought Iliza
Shlesinger,
is
schlepping.
Yeah, I think is great. You know, so a lot of female comics are great. You know, but I think there's ones that are not ready yet that are just pushing everything and anything that they have, and it's destroying the business.
It's easy to do that on social media because if you just have some good clips, like you could have a good 30 seconds for a clip or a good minute, but like and actually that does equate to like your social media can equate to tickets sold, but then someone like sees you live and goes, oh God, this is it. But it can go either way. Like they can be genuinely disappointed in your stand-up, or they can be like, I don't care what you're like in person. I'm already a fan of you. I'm already sold on you. So I'll go and see you no matter what.
Now, and like I said, while I'm galloping it around on my high horse, you could turn around and go, well, where's your stuff? And that's where it falls on me because I have to sit. I've got a bunch of stuff that I haven't had a chance to post yet and edit and stuff. So it falls back on where you can make a comment, but at the end of the day, you only really have yourself to blame on where your career is going. So True. I can make the comment because how I feel, but I can't say, I should be there. Well, I should where's my stuff? It falls back on me to do it. So there's a lot of, there's a lot of accountability to yourself you have to have doing this stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
It really is like such a full-time job, the performing and then the whole social media aspect of it. It's a lot. So getting back to, do you remember what year you met Cumia?
Oh yeah. It was 1977. Anthony's brother Joe, they were both coming back from California. All I heard was this guy, and Joe's nickname is Joe Buck. Joe Buck. And it's like, Joe Buck's coming back. Joe Buck's coming back from California. And I thought Joe Buck was this big, mean, ornery guy. He's like this lean, lanky guy.
Yeah.
One of the best guitar players you'd ever want to meet.
Really?
Actually taught me how to be a keyboard player. Has been my mentor for years. But when he was coming back, we were hanging out. It's the summer of 77. And he goes, my brother's coming back from California in September. He goes, you should meet the guy.
Meaning Anthony.
Anthony.
Okay, so you met Joe first.
Yeah, I met Joe first. And he goes, you should meet the guy. He's a funny guy. You like him. And I'm like, all right. So he goes, yeah, I told him to hang out with you and stuff like that. So we met and we hit it off. And there was another friend of ours, Pete Googler. Now, Pete Googler and I used to, before Anthony, Anthony came back, him and I and this other guy, we used to do all Monty Python bits and all this bit. So the three of us would just spend a day writing jokes.
Wow.
And it was, and then, we've always wanted to be comics, musicians, and we started off as roadies for his brother. And then then in 1982, there was a Journey band that Joe met these guys from East Side, so really good guys. We know them, they're friends to this day. And this one guy, Hugo Valente, spitting image of Steve Perry, even back then. He's making a great living doing it now,
not at the, not a mall Santa, but
not a mall, but he's doing it
good.
Splitting image of Steve Perry, sings just like him. And we had this band Quebec, so we did all the Journey stuff then. And Joe taught me how to be a keyboard player. So we used to have this thing called the Snake Pit, where I was one of the stage managers, but I also played the backing keyboards in the band, and Anthony did the lights. And that's where we started the band. And the funny thing is,
he did the lights, but he's such a good singer.
He had the reputation of one of the best light and pyro guys in the island music scene.
How did I not know that?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, he had a reputation of one of the best stage pyro guys, and because he used to rig all that stuff. And this is even before we did Rot Gut,
Wow.
And the funny thing with Ant is that when we were on the stage, he always insisted on having the light board by the end of the stage. I would be in and he would be out, when we in this area we call the Snake Pit. And I always wondered why. Till one night at a gig at a break, these girls come up. She goes, "Oh, you're such a great keyboard player. We love you." And I'm like, "Well, He did that because people would think he's playing the keyboards.
But it's actually the lighting?
He's doing the lights. I'm on the other side of him, on the inside of the stage. And I one night girls go, "You're a great keyboard player. We like you." I'm like, "Well, you son of a bitch."
Wow.
Now I get it. Yeah.
He did it for girls.
Yeah. So then, so we did that. And during the course of that, we met Adam. Adam started doing stand-up in 88. I started doing it in 89. Anthony, I would tell him, "Come to the club, hey, I'm going to watch TV. I'm going to hang out." And when I found out, I mean, like,
He wouldn't even come hang out.
no, and I found this out a couple of years ago, that he had an aversion of going out. He just wanted to stay home. And it used to bamboozle me because I go,
Did he have a girlfriend at this time?
Yeah, he had Currie.
Okay, which ended up being his wife?
No, he left. He wound up meeting Jen at the bar at Off Broadway, and wound up going with her and Currie broke up. Which I found out.
Do you think the girlfriend kept him from going out, or he just didn't want to go out?
He didn't want to go out because Currie was pretty cool.
Okay.
And he just had a thing against going out and doing stuff. And I'm hitting the mic because I was just starting, and I go, one of the most brilliant comedy minds, and he's just sitting at home, which used to frustrate the shit out of me.
How old are you guys?
Back then we were 26. Let's see, 20. Hold on, we do the math. Divide by 3. Carry the 1 coefficient of 4. Yeah, I was probably 28.
Okay.
And it used to frustrate me because this guy was one of the most brilliant minds out there.
So you wanted him to get into stand-up?
I wanted to get into stand-up. And I remember when they were doing Traveling Virus, and they were at Mohegan Sun, and I'm in the green room, and he's out there doing a killer 20 minutes, and he's just riffing about the night before in the casino, and
He's on stage doing this?
yeah, on stage at Mohegan Sun in the arena, and we're watching in the green room, and Opie's wife goes, he's really good. And I go, I know, it frustrates the hell out of me. So he gets done. He walks back into the green room. I go, you just did a solid 20. Yeah, I know, but I don't. But truthfully, Anthony's thing is that he is inherently funny. He's brilliant. And when he goes to stand up, it's at, your stuff, the comedian, so his fans are there. But the thing he does, and I'm not damning him, it's just a natural thing. When you and I go out, it's going through the process. A trying material, it doesn't work. It works. It doesn't work. You're trying to hammer it out. He is afraid to go through that process.
Okay.
That
makes sense.
You have, and I always
Nobody wants to bomb. Nobody wants something to not work out.
But you have to, and here's the thing about it. If I go out with the band has rehearsed, we've gone over a new original or a cover, and we've refined it, we went over it, we did this, that, and the other thing, and we go out and when we're on that stage, it's done. It's polished. It's perfect. When you're a stand-up, you go up there and you're like...
You're messy all the time.
There was one bit that I do now. It's a new bit, and I don't understand why the ending is not working. I was working with Adam Ferrara 2 weeks ago, and I told him a bit, and he goes, I don't know, and it's just, it's the frustration and the thrill of the chase to make that line work, and I still love the thrill of the chase. That's one of the
things. It's like pooping back and forth for the people watching at home.
Yeah.
Or giving birth, and then you suck it back up. Marinate, and then you give birth again. I don't know how to describe pushing out a good joke.
It's just I'm working on this joke right now that I'm talking about, like opening a packet of Imodium AD. And I go, you can't do it. You need the jaws of life. You can't. So the end of the joke is that I go, these should take. I could solve the drug problem right now. You could take fentanyl, cocaine, crack, and put it in those little packets, and the drug problem is over. Because nobody could open the fucking packets.
So true.
And you wait for the applause break or a laugh. It ain't coming.
And they're like,
I get.
Don't you make crack? Wait, isn't crack just like I don't know? It doesn't come in a packet.
But you're at the house. And I'm gonna be walked out on shoulders. There's gonna be not even a titter.
Oh, not even a titter. That's titter worthy.
But the thing about it is if you just started doing this, it would be frustrating. Maybe you want to quit. But when you've done this almost 30 years, you're like, okay, I know this could work. And now it gets to you don't get discouraged. It becomes now the thrill of the chase.
Mm-hmm. Like, you have a good nugget there. It's just how do you get around it?
Like I'm going to go to the urine trough in Setauket on a rainy Wednesday night in front of 4 people at the mic because I want to make this work. I want to make the bit work,
Okay, so you're friends with Anthony. You guys are both in your 20s. You're working stuff out in the clubs. He is just going home. And then at what point does he then... And then I guess, you're friends with him through... all of his radio gigs,
Everything.
Before Opie and Anthony,
Everything.
and then like how old are you guys when he gets his big break?
Okay, that would come up in 1991, and we were both entering our 30s. And what we did was we started this band. There was this band Rotgut that we started, and well, we didn't start it. There was a buddy of ours, Joe Gruen, who was playing, and Anthony was playing with them. And I go to, they were playing this outdoor gig at the park next to my house. So I go over and I see this band, they dress crazy and stuff like that. And I told Ant, I go, yeah, I'm joining this band. Oh, no, I'm joining this band, and wound up joining it. And we wound up, doing bits and stuff like that. And then Joe Currie was playing in this band called GTX, which was a phenomenal band. God, were they good. But there was some cracks, and Joe joined Rotgut just for jokes, playing the bass. And then the thing took off. And then we were doing bits. We had we had the best. John Blenn, the entertainment writer for the Good Times, we did this thing where Joe, Ant, and our guitar player Rex were hanging from nooses in the Long Island Music Festival.
What?
And we did this whole bit around it. And John Blenn, the entertainment writer for the Good Times, he said, I have never, ever, I've been writing for clubs and I've never seen anything like that. Because Anthony was very technical with stuff, very theatrical. And we wound up doing this. So we would do parodies
You're
too.
hanging from nooses, but singing?
Yeah. Yeah.
How were you not choking?
The way they rigged it up, the way they designed it.
Wow.
Yeah, and this goes to the genius of Anthony's engineering and the creativeness of Joe. You know, and to tell you the truth, with Rotgut, if there are Rotgut fans out there, it pretty much was with Joe and Anthony's vision and this stuff, with me just trying to accentuate the idea that they had with the rest of us. So, you know, it was pretty much their baby. But, you know,
Okay.
but so what happened was there was a parody. Opie from WBAB had a parody contest. And we did Gonna Electric Shock OJ to Sitting on the Dock of the Bay.
Oh, right.
Opie loved it and invited Joe to go down to talk about the song. Obviously, Anthony went, and Anthony knew that this was the door going, and he went down there, and you had to hear him that he threw every bit, every joke he knew into
Wow.
that. And Opie took a liking to him and then said, hey, do you want to come on board and do the show, you know, and do the show? And he would do the show with him. And then
Like be a partner. Like
yeah,
be a,
but you will come on and do bits. Now, what
Okay.
happened is that Opie got an offer to go up to WAAF up in Boston. And Opie knew that he would need somebody like Anthony for his success. So he offered Anthony the job to go up and be his partner at WAAF. And Anthony was asking all of us, should I take it or whatever? And I looked at him and I go, the door swung open, dude. You got to go. You got to go through the door, you know? And he did. And he wound up getting very big up there. And it was fun because I used to go up there because they used to do.
did the girlfriend go with him?
Yeah. Well, he was married at the time. He was married to
Okay.
Jen. And yeah, so they moved up there. And they used to do Saturday show up there. And I used to drive up from Long Island pretty much every Saturday to go do the show. So it was fun time
Wow.
with them, you know? And then they just got very big up there. And what happened is that they said that the mayor died. they got suspended.
Right.
But the NEW deal was in the works during that. So they got the...
NEW was in New York?
Yeah, in New York. So they wound up coming down to NEW, and he just chipped and clawed and just wound up, you know, just being, you know, the biggest show that it was, you know, and it's and good for them because it's good to it's so good to see good talent make it, you know,
And also Opie.
and yeah. Well, here's the thing with Opie. Opie steered the ship. You know, he was a very good rudder. He would steer the ship, but what would frustrate him, and I want to preface this with, Opie's always been good to me. I'm not damning the guy. I'm just stating something that was evident, which was just a matter of fact. Opie is not a comic, and it used to frustrate him that he wasn't a comic. And an example is
His mind just doesn't work that way.
our minds are wired differently. And I'll give you an example. If Jimmy and Ant would be on a bit, okay, and they'd be going back and forth, and they're killing. And then, you know, when you get a lull as comic, and you go, but you're not done. You're just trying to
No, you're just taking a breath.
just taking a breath
And you're
and trying to
thinking.
agree with, see what you got. Opie would go to a call.
He would go to Snowy in Michigan.
Snowy in Michigan, exactly. If you're a comic, you know comic timing, you know how comedy works. You would see that and go, you know, and give it that breather because you know there's more in the tank. You
Yeah.
would take a phone call. And Opie
So he
would do
couldn't
that.
have any dead air. He would think that that's dead air.
He
He's
would think
gonna
that
move
was dead
along.
air, you know, but he wouldn't understand that that's, you know, I mean, look, on the show that I used to do, you know, Davin and I would rip, and there would be a small break, and then we pick a, you know, in this comic
Yeah.
timing, you know, we've been doing it for years and years and years. So, you know, and it used to frustrate Opie that he couldn't fit in to those guys.
Couldn't riff.
And let me tell you something. It was a tough room. You've got the most brilliant of the brilliant of the brilliant. You got Voss and Patrice, Jimmy. You know, you got Jim Jeffries when he would come in. You know, the best of the best in there. So it's like you're trying to fit in.
Colin Quinn, right?
Yeah,
Who else
Colin
would come
Quinn
in?
with the guys, the most brilliant comedy minds in the country. And it was, it's a tough thing to do if you don't have that timing thing. And I think it would frustrate him. But in his defense, it's like, you've got the monsters of comedy in there.
And he probably didn't realize it because he's probably like, well, I just scooped up Anthony out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so he probably didn't see these guys as like the legends that they really were because they were all friends with Anthony, right?
No, they actually were friends with Jimmy.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, they would come in, with Jimmy, and and like I said, when Jimmy got in, he would bring all these guys on, and I guess you didn't realize the powerhouses that you had because they're coming in as guests.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of them had specials or whatever, but it wasn't.
It's your show.
We have special guests, special guest headliner. You've seen them on HBO. You just had these guys dropping by.
Okay.
And I'm not taking I mean, they had amazing
They
careers
were
when they're going in
casual,
there.
like they would show up a
They
lot.
would casually show in to hang.
So Obi didn't realize, like, they're still super high level guys.
Yeah, they were super high level guys, so it's like, and when you're, look, comedy you need to be born with. And I'll give you an example. Being an artist, okay? My brother's a good artist. He could draw. I can't do. You can learn to be a better artist. You can't be, you have to have that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't learn that. You could accentuate it, but you can't learn that. And the same thing with comedy. You have to have that basic thing.
Nobody can really teach you timing.
Yeah, they can't teach you timing. They can't teach you a comic will look at a situation like a regular person wouldn't, and it's like, I remember there was one guy I was online at the bank, and this guy's taking his time. Like, he got the balloons in his bag. Now I'm making up a thing that he had. I got the balloons and blah, 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 blah. I mean, at my wedding, when I got married, my ex-wife got pissed off at me because we had the brochures to hand out, and my buddy Frank was supposed to hand them out. I forgot to tell Frank to hand out the brochures. Anthony was my best man. And
you mean like the rundown? Like the
rundown. And it didn't get handed out because my buddy Frank was supposed to do that. I forgot to tell him why, because Anthony was my best man, and we were too busy making a game show at the Stations of the Cross. So that's comics. That's comics. Nobody, if you're a groom and a best man,
Nobody should have given you tasks to do. Like, you should have had zero responsibility.
But it's like, as if you were a regular civilian, you're there, not us. We're making a game show out of the Stations of the Cross.
No,
there's
great.
20 points there. The cross is 50. I mean, so, and I'd explain that to my ex-wife. You were doing what? Making game show out of the Stations of the Cross. Yeah,
that's so funny. Oh my gosh. Well, but where is she? Oh, okay. So where is she now?
Who's that?
You have an ex-wife?
Oh yeah.
Do you still talk to her?
Yeah, once in a while. She told me about him, and now we've been separated, divorced, going on 7 years now. And she wrote me like during the holidays. She goes, we're still married in the eyes of God.
What?
And I go,
what a weird thing to say.
I know, but I told her, thank God it's not in the eyes of Suffolk County because they wanted to garnish my salary.
Oh.
But she.
But wait, you can't, because did you get married in a Catholic church?
Yeah.
Couldn't you go? Because I'm converting right now. I think you can do it. You just have to go and get it annulled. I think you have to get a bishop's got to sign off. It can be done.
Yeah.
It can be undone.
Yeah. But it was just.
I guess that only matters unless you want to get married again.
But you want to know something? It's the curse of being in this. I mean, you have a great marriage. Frank's a great guy, and he's really good. But I got married when I met my ex-wife. It was about 4 months after my mom passed away. My mom died suddenly. I'm alone, and I wound up going to Dawn.
What year was that?
1992.
Okay.
And Anthony's sister, Dawn.
I know who she is.
The funny thing is, like, we're just hanging out, and I go, so Anthony's sister, Dawn, was having a Christmas party. And my ex-wife was going there with a friend, and we wound up hitting it off. And I wound up going out to dinner with her, and one thing led to another. She moved in. But I was so busy at that time renovating my mom, because it needed to be renovated. And this was the biggest investment. I was so busy renovating.
You could sell it, right?
Yeah, so I could sell it. Rot Gut was going for a record deal. Rehearsals 2 times a week, gigs every weekend. And I had to step away from stand-up, and I decided I was going to get back into stand-up when everything was done. So basically, I was just looking on all this other stuff. So when my wife wanted to get married, I told her, I go, we can get married. I go, but you got to understand, I'm working every weekend. I'm going to start to do stand-up again. And I go, you know.
I'll never see you.
Yeah. And I was honest with her. I said, if you can deal with it, I go, we'll get married. If you can't, I'm sorry. You know, and she said she could deal with it.
That's fair.
But there was, but it got to the point after 11 years that I was just putting shoveling stuff under the rug. And you know, and there was just
Meaning,
no
like,
more
issues
shoveling.
between
Issues
you guys.
between us. You know, she would take the kitchen table and she would put like because one half was mine, one half was hers. I got the Berlin Wall on my kitchen table. You know,
why not just get another table? I don't know.
Well, what she would do though is, because when she would bring groceries home, there was not enough room on her side of the table, so she would go in the bedroom and put the groceries, the extra on her side of the bed. Meanwhile, you know
Who puts groceries on their bed?
She did. And meanwhile, you know who's on the other side of the bed? Me, sleeping. And I wake up to a canned ham staring me in the face.
Wow.
And I'm like, this, you know, so it got.
And it wasn't even her canned ham.
No. Yeah. But
What a weird, that's passive aggressive to
was
put
crazy.
laundries
She
on a
was nuts,
bed.
nuts.
Not laundries, groceries on a bed.
Yeah, but even if she wanted to go, like, even going to like a gig, she was chronically late. Now there was one time that there was a big party in Anthony's house, and Dawn's husband's cousin was there. So my wife is talking with him. Oh, you know, Joe's a stand-up and blah, 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 blah. Oh, I'd love to see Joe. Well, he's going to be at McGuire's this weekend. Why don't you come out and blah, 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 blah. So we get home and Joanne goes, she goes, you know, Patrick's cousin is going to come to the show Saturday. I go, all right, you need to be on time. You need to be on time. I am not going to make small talk. You need to be on time. So we're leaving to go to the show and we take separate cars. And I go, you're not even ready yet. You going to the show? I'll be there. I go, I told you, you need to be there at 7:30.
Why? When did the show start?
8 o'clock.
Okay.
So 7:30 time. 7:30. She's nowhere to be found.
Aye.
Okay, and I'm making small talk with her. She was a nice woman. Making small talk with the cousin. You know, and all this. And
that is so stressful. I would not even.
Oh, it gets better.
I would not even. I'd be like, sorry, I'm going to leave. I have to go because I have to get into. You have to get into your zone.
It gets better. Okay. It's 8 o'clock. Show starts, and I go, you sit in the club, and you know, when Joanne shows up. Okay, now you know how comedy works. MC goes up, he does 10 to 15. I'm middling. Okay, so 15 minutes MC. I'm on stage for 15 minutes already, and there's this person walking in the middle of the thing, and there's this guy. It's her. I have to make a decision right
Was this
now.
the first show she'd ever been to?
No. But she was always late, and I told her not to be late.
And she wasn't even black.
I had.
Wait, was she black?
Or in a bachelorette party. But anyway, I had to make a split-second decision. Should I goof on her? Should I not? Should I move on?
Absolutely, you gotta goof on her.
You know what? I don't want to hear shit back at the house. But when we got home, I said, you are never, ever coming to a gig again. And I go, I asked you to show up on time, and you could care, and it went down.
Yeah, it's a respect thing. Like, you got to know how. And I'm sure you tried to explain to her like how important it is. It's like, and also just, I have to add in so much time in advance. Like, I have to be at a venue like at least an hour before the doors open. Like, I have to it takes me a lot of time to like get ready, get comfortable. And so I would never just sit around and wait for somebody to.
I just can't, because I'll get there like 30 minutes before, but I usually have my set list. And I don't know, about you with a set list. Sometimes I'll look at a set list and I go, yeah, this is what we're doing tonight. Or something. I go, I'm not feeling this.
Yeah, sometimes you'll be like,
I'm not feeling this.
No,
and I'll go back through a couple of set lists. I'm like, and that takes a little time, if you look and you're like, all right, we can do this. This is cool,
Yeah.
So that, but meanwhile, you're making small talk with somebody, and
it drains you.
Yeah, it does. And there was one time that she was inviting a bunch of people to see me at Governor's, and she wound up getting sick, and she reached everybody except one person to say that she couldn't come. And the other people didn't show up, which is fun. But this one woman shows up, so I'm like, oh boy, and my wife is homesick. So somebody comes, I think Jimmy Finn comes in the green room. Currie, there's a woman at the bar that wants to talk to you. And I'm like, yeah, I know who that is. And this woman chewed the shit. I don't know. And what am I doing? I go, look, can I buy you a drink? I don't want a fucking drink. I'm like,
then go home. Why complain? Just be like, oh, this person.
And I had to be nice because it's my wife's coworker. I don't want her to get, But I got home that night and she goes, did so-and-so show up? I go, yeah, boy, did she. And I got my ass handed to her. Well, I tried to reach her. I said, you tried to reach. I don't need
This was before cell phones?
Yeah. No, cell phones were around. People answering them weren't, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
I still don't answer my cell phone.
yeah, but it, so it was frustrating, and and then I just made the decision to get the.
But the fact that she goes out of her way, however many years later, to say to you, we're still married in the eyes of God, to me that says like, I'm thinking about you. I don't know. Maybe could I get back in there? Because why say that? Why say that to somebody?
And I used to make this joke, but it was so horrible. People wouldn't laugh. People go, oh, you're going to get back with her? I go, no. It's like going to the surgeon and asking him, could you put the cancer back in? No.
Oh, no.
No. I'm not doing it. Not doing it.
So we're single and ready to mingle?
I've got a certain thing going on. It's been going on for a while.
Oh.
I'm at the point right now where it's not progressing the way I would like it, but I'm very invested in this person, but I don't know if this person wants to come on the journey with me.
Okay.
And you're torn with leaving this person that you love more than anything else you've ever loved before, but them not wanting to be part of your life any further than it is. And it's a frustrating thing. Meanwhile, I'm looking for more. So, but
how long have you seen this person?
12 years.
I would say if in 12 years, it's not where you want it to be. Yeah. I mean, like, luckily you're a man and you don't have like the whole biological clock issue, but, I would say, I don't know. You gotta be like, okay, am I glamorizing what this relationship could be, or am I soberly looking at what this relationship is?
Yeah.
And then
the thing about it is that, with what we do, I don't know that another woman would put up with my schedule.
It's the comedy curse, right?
It's the comedy curse. There's a gig on the weekend, Well, you want to do? I gotta write this. Well, I gotta do a podcast. And it's and
how many nights a week do you say you'd say you'd be home?
Maybe 3, I guess. The thing about it is that, and I was discussing with,
like, what if you were an ER doctor who worked nights? You know what I mean? It's like there's plenty of other people who work nights.
I know, but the thing about it is that, and I was discussing this with some friends last night, and I go, I don't know if anybody would put up with my antics. I write for the, I'm starting Red, White, and True. I'm going to be doing a majority of the right. That's going to take my time, and it's, do you want to go do this or what? And it just seems I'm listening.
But it sounds like it sounds like stuff you don't really want to do anyway, and you'd rather just work or do comedy.
And like
when you do that voice, do you want to do this? That already tells me that's some shit you don't want to do.
That's amazing. And I'm not being facetious. And I'll tell you, and I was explaining this to 2 of my friends last night. The thing about it is that my father, when I was 6 years old, my father committed suicide.
Oh no!
Yeah, and I was the last one to pretty much see him. He also had our dog, big English Mastiff, Sam the English Mastiff.
Is the dog okay?
No, he blew his head off.
He killed the dog.
Killed the dog. Yeah. So what happened is?
Oh my God, Joe!
Well, I didn't shoot the dog. Yeah. But what happened?
I'm glad the dogs aren't in the room.
Well, but here's the deal. My father was a controller.
What?
I'll explain.
He killed the dog and then himself.
Yeah. Well, the dog wasn't going to shoot him, so it's...
Why involve the dog at all?
I'll explain. The dog was...
I'm so mad at him.
The dog was a big English Mastiff, and this dog would eat 5 pounds of chopped meat pretty much a day. And in the suicide note... So
the dog wouldn't eat him. Is that why?
Yeah. So in the suicide note, my father said that, we couldn't, you don't know if we could afford to keep the dog, and So what happened was
shooting him?
Yeah. So what happened was, this is the fun part of the show, kids. What happened is that he was a controller at a Fortune 500 company, and he was onto somebody that was embezzling money, whatever, and he tried to get him. What happened was the guy turned the tails on my father. My father got fired. My father was 50, how old was my dad? 61 years old. and figured he couldn't get a job. He had this big house in Huntington, and there was one morning where he got up. Now on Saturday mornings, he would get up, me, him, and the dog would go out to the hardware store. We go out, we do, father-son stuff. Man stuff. We do man stuff. So he gets up with the dog, and I come out, and I go, where are we going? He goes, you got to stay here. And I'm like, what the hell is this all about? I go, I want to go. You got to stay here. You got to stay here. And I'm like, but I want to go. You got to stay here. He takes off with the dog. Next thing you know, my friends have me go to this fair that they were having down the street.
Wait, he did it at the house?
No, he did it behind it's the Elwood Diner. What happened was he went behind the Elwood Diner, shot the dog, and then turned the gun on himself. And that was that. So
whoa.
Yeah. So then what happens is I was a kid that had a stay-at-home mom. We had this big house, and the rug got pulled under. So my mom was a legal secretary. Used to be a legal secretary. Went back to work being a legal secretary, and at 12 years old, when I was 12, she wound up going back to this prestigious law firm she used to work with in the city for more money. I had to start taking care of myself alone.
Were you an only?
No, I have a half brother, but
okay.
He was years older than me. So I'm a latchkey kid. I'm alone, and I was scared. And I made up characters to keep me company. I turned on the Partridge Family, and I like music, and I'm like, this looks cool. That's what kind of got me into music. And then my buddy played it, and it's even in my bio, Cheech and Chong album. And I started to get into Cheech and Chong, and it was just like, there is hope.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about it was I actually got to tell Cheech and Chong that, because I remember.
You met them?
I met them. They were at Westbury Music Fair. And I ran around like a schoolgirl after the show, and I wanted to meet. And even the stage manager said, "Oh, they're going to come out." So they both come out, and it was one off the bucket list. I saw Cheech Marin first, and I go, "Look, I just want to tell you something." I go, and I quickly explain the story, and I go, "I've been a comic for years," and I go, "I have to thank you for that. You guys saved me." And then Tommy Chong came out. I told Tommy Chong the same story. And one of the coolest things is now from Cheech and Chong, I always wanted to be a stand-up. There is a plaque I have in my music room that is the list of the acts for a certain week. There is me, Colin Quinn, and Cheech and Chong. I'm on the bill, the same thing, and that I framed.
Wow. Where was that? That's at a music
Westbury
festival?
Music Fair,
okay. That's cool.
And so basically with that in mind is that, and like I said, my two friends were going, why do you're going to have to change your ways. And I go, no, because I go, comedy and music has been my family. It's what's given me peace.
It's been there for you.
Yeah. I meet Anthony Cumia and Joe, and Ann's dad left to go out to California, and it was that way for him. So we have this bond. A couple of other friends were, they lost their dad, and then, with the comedy, the same thing. So music and comedy, since, has always been my family, my inner peace, the thing that and that's what I based my life on.
Right.
With my family upstate, so for me to change at my age, this is, what I do.
That's your foundation.
That's my foundation. And it's costing me relationships. It cost me a relationship with one girl. It cost me my marriage. It cost, but.
Just the schedule?
Yeah, the schedule. And, and there was one girl I dated. She goes, I always seem to be at the bottom of a totem pole.
And you're
of
like,
priorities.
yes, and
I go, yeah, but this is, I've felt that, ever since I was 16 years old as a roadie, it always has been, if this happens, how does it affect me being in a band? Then I got to be, how does it affect me being in a band in comedy? How does it, and it's all that stuff would always come first.
Yeah.
And, at the age I am, I'm comfortable with myself, and I'm going to try to be, so, I'm not trying to compete with anybody. Right? I'm very comfortable, especially after a triple bypass,
wow.
And coming out of it and going,
lived.
and you're like, you don't take days for granted. So I just, this is what I want, but still I want to, a steady relationship. But sometimes I don't think that's going to be possible just due to the, the lifestyle that we live.
I think it is possible. You just have to find somebody. I'm not saying female comic or musician, but someone who understands. And I felt that way too for a while, because I was dating a bunch of degenerate comics, and I was like, this is not sustainable. Like, I was not being treated well, and like, thank God I found Frank, who wasn't a stand-up comic. He's as funny as a stand-up comic, but he was on like the producing side, and he understood like the hours and the business and kind of like where my head was at, and like also understood me so well enough to see like what gaps I sort of needed help with, like, you know, helped filling things in, and helped me like, you know, build my career and find out my voice and all that. So I think it's possible. You just need to find somebody who understands the business.
You know, well, actually what happened was 2 years ago, there was somebody, I don't want to mention her name, but basically what it was is that.
Do I know her?
You might, I don't know. But she was 28 years old at the time. And I met her, the story was this. Davin, my buddy Davin and I were doing 2 shows. We were doing one show up at, and this is, oh God, this is a hell gig story. We were doing a show at Watkins Glen for a wine tasting when they come in for dinner. Okay, so I have to go or leave Long Island, go to Orange County. We have to drive to Watkins Glen. It's 95 degrees out. These people come in from a wine tasting. They're drunk, they're hot, they're hungry, and we have to do our show, go up and do it while they're getting salad.
Right.
And we're getting absolutely nothing. We're dying a horrible death. we're dodging in and out of people getting served salad. It was one of the worst gigs I've ever done, period. Okay, we get through it. Now we got to get in the car, and we have to drive down Oliphant, Pennsylvania at the Keystone Theater. I don't know if you did the Keystone.
Nope.
So we get to the Keystone, and we walk in, and there is the theater owner yelling at this girl. Yeah, well, I'm trying to bring. You're not bringing enough people. Blah, 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 blah. All right, whatever. So I get introduced to her, and I get introduced to her, and I go, "Hi, I'm Joe Currie." She goes, "Oh, I'm so and so." So I go up to do my set. I'm doing 30. And I start doing stuff. So she's giving. She was emceeing it. Horrible. She's horrible. So she
women.
Yeah. Well, no. Women aren't funny. But she's up there. So I go up. I'm 20 in, and I'm getting the light. And there was only 5 people in the audience.
And you know how long you've been on. Yeah.
And there's only 5 people in the audience. They're having a good time. You know, it is what it is. That's what she could get. You know. So she's giving me the light. I'm a light. And I go, and I'm like, I'm at 20. Yeah. And I go, am I done? Yeah, you're done.
What?
Well, thank you. Have a good night. So Davin is walking past me to go up. I go, you have a word with her or something, you know. So anyway, we get done, and now we're in the theater lobby.
Hold on. So she lights you 20, and you're probably like thinking, this must be some mistake, and you keep going, right? Or do you,
a little bit,
yell from stage? Like,
and I'm like, and I go, am I getting that? And you want to know something? Because there's only 5 people at the show, and you're doing crowd where you know, it's like it's almost intimate, so you can actually go, you give me the light. And she goes, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So I go, I'm 20. She goes, I didn't like some of the things you said. And I go, you go to the
what a cunt. That is so not cool. That's so not allowed.
And I go, are you kidding me? I go, you were having a good time. Who are you to dictate? Who to dictate? I'll tell you off there. But I go, who are you to dictate to me what we're doing? Blah, 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 blah. But, you know, and I got in a major yelling match with her. So Davin comes out and goes, could you keep it down? We're in front of her. I go, there's 5 people here. Sell your stupid shot glasses.
This isn't a real show. This is just something in between.
And we went at it. And I mean, really, I laid both barrels into her. So what happened was I'm outside talking to the theater owner, you know, and she comes out and I go, look, I didn't mean to yell at you like that or, you know, whatever. I go, you know, this is, you know, I think you were wrong, blah, blah, blah. She goes, oh, yeah, I know. She goes, well, I might be booking some stuff on Long Island. You know, I'll keep you. All right, that's fine. So, you know, about a month goes by. And then she says, she goes, yeah, I'm coming out to Long Island. Is there anything going on? And I go, yeah. And I go, we've lost one of our comic buddies. And I go, having a memorial for him. I go, if you want to come out, and you just see all the comics that are involved in the open mics and stuff like that. So she came out and we're having a talk and stuff like, you know, we were talking, hanging out for a while. And I'm saying to myself, you know, if I wanted to hang out with her, I could hang out. I'm like, nah, I can't be bothered. You know, so I put her on a train, sent her back to the city. So she kept writing me. I like this.
This is the same person that lit you at 20 minutes.
Yes.
I can't believe you even spoke to her again.
Well, so what happened was she keeps on writing me, oh, what should I do about this guy? I go, you don't like him, don't like him. So Memorial Day weekend was coming up. So she's going, what are you doing Memorial Day weekend? I go, yeah, I'm probably going to go to the beach, kick back. I want to go to the beach. I like the beach.
Wow, she's really thirsty for you.
Yeah, very pushy. So I came out to the house, and we wound up sleeping with each other for 3 months. So
hey, there you go. Persistence, ladies.
Yeah, but what happened is that it just, she wanted to have a baby, she wanted to have this, and plus,
whoa,
I still had this other thing going on, and
the other thing that the current thing.
Yeah, and what happened was, she left to go with this other guy, which, but you know what? At that age, you know what? You want closure, you want the talk, nothing, just cut me right off.
Wow.
Even so much as I was writing her and I go, I just want to let you know I had a triple bypass, I almost died. Never even wrote, never even wrote back,
What a bitch.
Yeah, and
I hate her.
Yeah, and she would, but I don't even know we were.
We're talking about women in comedy who are horrible.
So, but the thing about the thing about it was one of the good things about it is that she was a comic and she booked stuff. So you do a gig. Oh, what are you doing? I'm working here. Can I go? Yeah, of course. It's not now when you're doing no, because she was a stand-up or quote unquote stand-up. She's not even doing that anymore. She fell off the face of the earth. I don't know what the hell she's doing now.
Yeah, because you're the one that got away. She just figured, why even bother?
Yeah.
This woman sucks. I'm putting her on my blacklist. She'll never be on this show. Matt, write it down. We'll find out her name as soon as we're off air.
Well, she also pulled a bullshit move on one of my friends.
Ooh.
That she gave this girl a piece of jewelry that she liked and thought it was nice that because of the birthstone and everything on it, and the bitch sold it. And I was over the house when she called her on the carpet about it, and it was a bullshit move.
Wow.
Her boyfriend now is a piece of shit. So I'm like, if you were still with me, you never would have done that. I go, how could you do such a thing? She just didn't have that capacity, So,
you're too good for these hoes, Joe.
I don't know.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring it back to the Anthony storyline. So you're with him through all that stuff, and then you're still his, your best friend through all of it, and then Opie and Anthony kind of crashes and burns. He gets fired for some bullshit for taking a photo of some woman in Times Square.
That was total bullshit that he got.
And then Opie famously doesn't have his back in a way that Anthony would have liked. The show continues with Opie. Anthony starts Compound Media in what was it,
2014.
Did he confide in you a lot about, during that time where that all
there was a lot of there's a lot of stuff that people found out months later about that I would find out 2:00 in the morning drinking in the pool. Mm-hmm. He would tell me everything that was going on. So the one thing that Anthony had absolutely no clue at all of what was going to happen was Dave Landau leaving.
Oh,
he had absolutely, because and that weekend, remember when we did Soul Joel's?
Yes, yeah, that was a huge kind of open, not a pavilion, but an open venue,
right? And
outdoors.
Dave left that Monday. Dave didn't come in that Monday. I was in the car with Anthony, 3 hours there, 3 hours back. We talked about everything. The old days, this thing. Never mentioned there was any animosity with Dave.
He just didn't. Yeah, he probably just had no clue, and he probably thought oh, he's just gonna be on the Crowder show. He was just doing guest spots.
And the problem with comics is, even though we're outspoken, sometimes we don't like controversy. And I was working with Dave a couple of months ago, and I was talking about with him, and I go, he goes, yeah, it wasn't, I didn't handle the right thing. I go, yeah, but we don't handle things the right way. But I tell you, it kind of blindsided him, because Ant really had no clue. Because we talk about everything under the sun, and if he thought, I get a funny feeling Landau might be jumping ship. So, never even brought it up.
Wow.
But the both of them are good with it. It's all water under the bridge.
But at the time, I'm sure it must have hurt his feelings.
It must have, yeah. I think it did.
He felt abandoned and
yeah.
And then it ended up being kind of a huge mistake, and then the Crowder show kind of crashed and burned.
Yeah.
But then,
You know, did you read Dave's book?
Dave has a book.
He has a book.
Uh-oh.
He shouldn't be alive. And the thing
Put
about
it on the list, man. I got another book I have to buy.
The book, and the book is so you can hear his voice when you read the book, and the book is so much like his act because he will tell you the most heartfelt or the most heaviest story, and there is a joke just laying there waiting to snap at you, and it catches you off guard.
Wow.
That's how good the book is. So, and I also told Dave that you should write. You need to write a second book because it leaves off right before Ant.
Oh, wow.
So I told him, I go, you need to touch on the years with Ant. You need to touch on the Crowder years because he was telling me a couple of stories. I go,
yeah.
you got another book in you.
Oh, people would love that.
It'd be a shame if you didn't write one. Oh, you think? I go, look, I'm just saying, but Dave is a great guy. One of the
he is.
I remember when he was Allie was trying to get him. Allie was the producer on Compound Media at the time. Allie was trying to get him into Uncle Vinny's. So Allie goes, "Can you help out?" I go, "Yeah." So I talked to Dino, the owner, and I go, "Yeah, I'd like to get this guy Dave Landau to come out." Is he any good? I go, he's unbelievable. He goes, well, maybe he could do a guest spot for you. I go, you don't understand, Dino.
He's a headliner.
I go, I can't follow him. So what happens is he gets a spot down there and he destroys. And that night, Bob Levy was there and Voss was there just hanging out. And and I was talking about it on my old show where when you meet a new comic, there is a thing where you want vindication, and Voss and Levy is sitting like, and Dave just slaughtered, and they're like,
wow.
And a matter of fact, when I was doing the Content House with you, there was I forgot the guy, really good guy, funny guy. He was doing the podcast.
Gerard Michaels?
Yeah. And the thing about it is, I was talking with him, and I was trying to impress him as another podcaster and as a comic, because I finally was on with him later on in the night, and we had a great conversation, and then we both did our show, and it was just sort of a thing where he doesn't know me, I don't know him, but I wanted to show my stuff to show him I'm the real deal.
Yeah.
And sometimes comics like that, because you ever notice, like, if you work with a new comic,
usually I just take my boobs out. That's how I show people.
And you
but
do
I
great.
want to impress them right away.
But you ever notice when you work on a weekend, it's with the comic you really don't know, and you're having conversation at the table, but then after the show, the conversation takes another dynamic.
Yes,
because you just proved your worth.
You broke the ice.
It's a prove your worth thing.
I want. It's weird. Not that I don't want anything to do. Again, like before my set, I don't want to really talk to anybody. Like I have to be in my zone. Like I need to be in a bubble. Like I'm not good when I'm split focus, and then I'll barely even notice like the host or the feature, and then after the show, clearly I'll listen to their sets because I'll try to weave what they say in with mine, and then you were way friendlier. I'm like, let's get a picture. Oh my God,
it's that proof of worth thing. Now I was discussing that with Davin, on our show, and he goes, I don't feel it. I go, you have never done a show, and you work the road all the time where you work with another act, and you want to do the proof of worth thing. It's nothing against that. You just want to you want to prove that you belong there. It's a proving. Well, no, okay, all right. Maybe I guess you're a cyborg, because with me, if I don't, not that I think I'm better than it, because I'm not, but you just want to just demonstrate you deserve to be in the venue.
Yeah, and do the best you can, and then you want the people who booked you to be happy. You want the audience to be happy. You want everybody else on the show to have a good time. Yeah. Definitely. And then so Anthony starts Compound Media. He forgets about you for a year, then he finally gets you on the show. But sounds like, I mean, to maintain this close of a friendship for this many decades is no easy task. I know it's a big deal. I just feel like, especially in comedy, I'm not one of these people who has I still talk to my high school friends. I don't even talk to my college friends anymore. I don't even talk to half my bridesmaids.
Because we never competed against each other. And the thing about it is, when we all, Adam, me, music with Joe, it was all we all figured it was going to be, when we all wanted to do it, and we figured if we ever did it, it would be all for one for all. But we discovered when we started to do it that it wasn't that way. You know, Adam started a year and a half before I did. He had his friends Kevin James and all this, you know, and his group. I go on, and then I start, you know, and then I started. I have my crew. I got George Gallo. I got, you know, Chris Monty and all those guys. And you know,
Chris Monty.
Chris, you know,
oh, he's great.
He is. So you know, so I run. You know, so you start running with your guy. We never ran together. We just ran with the crews that we started with. You know, so there was never really a competition thing.
Yeah.
But it was nice. It was nice to when I was able to start doing shows with Adam. You know, it was great. And then I said, playing in bands with Ant, we did that forever and ever and ever. So to just start doing comedy shows with Ant was just beyond amazing to me. You know, when we did,
because you wanted him to start stand-up all those years ago, and he just was like, "I'm going to go home."
And I've always dreamt, you know, that, you know, him and I would go out and we'd do the road, we do the, you know, do one of the things we loved, and we never, on that end of the spectrum, we never did that. When we actually started doing it, you know, he's walking off stage, I'm ready to go back and we would just cross, and it's like, yeah.
And that was Comedians of the Compound.
Yeah, Comedians of the Compound. And I gotta tell you, one of the biggest things that helped me with the Comedians of the Compound was at the time was when we were coming out of COVID, and I wound up doing a lot of open mics to get back out, because you know there was nothing going on. And when COVID started, I'm like, do I really want to be in this roller coaster anymore? And a buddy of mine, Steve Rocco Perillo, was running these open mics, and it was just comics, because you couldn't have, because the Board of Health would come in and join. What's going on here? We're just comics. We just work. All right, and they would leave. You know, so we were
6 feet apart.
But what I dawned on me again is the camaraderie of hanging out, goofing around, taking this piece of paper, trying to make it work, the thrill of the chase, and I had a discovery with it. And what also helped is when you're doing a mic, everybody's looking at their phone. I mean, if a guy goes, ha, 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 you know, you got gold. And you're not getting the response that you usually get. So your pacing is changed, where you don't get, you know, you learn to war. If you're not getting what you want, it's not, you're not trying to rush something, and you just take it. And what happens is now I'm on the road with you guys, and people know me. They know you as a comic. They know Gina was a comic. Aaron, you know that, you know, Ant, you know, is the host, blah, blah, blah. But they know me as Anthony's friend that tells jokes. So I have to go up and I have to prove my worth. And I wound up pulling it off thanks to the pacing that I got at those mics. I was talking to Gino last week, and I go, when we were doing Soul Joel's, I was freaking out because you're practically raising the dead. I have to follow that with the train and then you know, in a full house. And so I went out there, and it was a little, but I stood and I wound up getting the job done. And there was another time at Governor's doing the Comedians of the Compound, where during the week there was going to be a special guest. It's going to be Norton. I knew it was going to be Jim. Nobody else, you know, I mean, you know, our inner circle, we knew it, but the fans didn't know that, you know, but I knew it, and I knew that I would have to follow Jim. I just knew it. I knew it. So
you didn't before you even knew the lineup?
I'm going to have to follow Jim. I just know it. And I planned my week knowing that knowing that I had to follow Jim.
Before you even knew the lineup?
Before I even knew the lineup.
You just like, I know
I'm following Jim. So I prepared myself to follow Jim. That night show's running. Aaron, yeah, Joe, you're following Norton. Yeah, I know. And I went up there and I held my ground, and I did well. And you know, like I said, it was, you know, I'm like, oh, you know, hope I'm good. But I've been doing this 30 years, you know, pro for 30 years. So it's like, no, I just got to show them, you know, and it, you know, and I've always had fun doing it, you know, and made me work, but you know, I got by. I got the job done, you know, and doing the content, I can't thank you enough again. It was like the old days. It was like going back out. It was so much fun. That.
You know, and everybody together.
Yeah. And you know, and when that end, you're like, will we ever have this again? And then we got it again, and you just you savor that weekend. You savor that weekend, because we all knew how much fun it was, how much fun it is to be back. What a great time we had at the table, at the show, singing Currie, you know, and it was.
Oh, the karaoke. Oh my gosh. And then the best is like the people who don't know that you're a really good singer, that Ant's a really good singer. They're like, what? Like I have my friend Mary Jane who does who's at the Content Hotel who does comedy. She was like, I didn't even know Anthony was such a good singer, and she's posting about it. And then there's the comments like, yes, we all knew. You're new here.
We have Anthony and I have two women. Well, they were friends of ours back when we were kids, and we adored them. And they showed up at we hadn't seen each other in about literally 30 years. And it was 2011, and they came back from California to hang out, and they came out to the aunt's
Were
house.
these slam pieces?
There was this one girl, Trisha, that Anthony and I both liked.
Okay.
And
were you Eiffel Towering?
Well, no. The funny thing is that night, Trisha goes, I'm gonna jump in the hot tub. Anthony goes, yeah, I'll go in. And I go, let me change. And I look at Anthony, I go, and we both liked her. And I go, we haven't ended this, have we? No, we haven't. But anyway, we were singing karaoke, and my friend Trisha goes, Anthony is a very good singer. He should try to sing. And I go, we have 2 albums. We have, he didn't know. Mm-hmm. You know, that's it's like, we've been at this, you know, at that time, we were literally, 25 years. It's like, we got 2 albums on the wall. We got, you know.
Where can people still buy these albums?
You can find them. You Google Rotgut, and you'll come up to Rotgut Live at the Apollo. And then the second,
ROTGUT.
Yeah, I think it's 2. Joe has 2 T. I think it's just 1 T. But just put the band Rotgut, and it comes up.
What kind of name is that?
It was a name. The band had, because basically Anthony, I, and Joe are not the original members. There was other, you know, we just joined in the band, but we wound up taking it all the way through. And we have the Rotgut, the first Rotgut CD, and then we had the EP Slack and Whack, which was good, you know, and and you know, it was fun. And we went
Slack and Whack.
Yeah, Slack and Whack. And it was the artwork is by this guy Alex Gardega. God rest his soul. He, you know, it's a you know. So you talk about suicide. He was a torch. He wound up jumping in front of a subway train.
But at least he didn't take a dog with him.
I know. I got to tell you.
Bothered by this dog story.
I got to tell you something about being in that thing. I was doing a show. I was doing a podcast with Dave Landau. Now, Dave Landau's mom committed suicide. And I forgot.
Oh my God.
And it was a show.
Right.
It was at the studio, the Compound Studio. I forgot the guy's name that we were doing it with. Him and Dave were actually guests on the show. And the show got really dark because because Dave was talking about his suicide and I was talking about my dad's suicide. And then Dave made a joke about my dad's suicide. And I looked at him and I was laughing and I go, unless you didn't go through it, you wouldn't get it. And you would say that's horrible. Mm-hmm. But because we put up such a shield, a safety shield over it with humor, I go,
oh, yeah.
I think the only other person that would laugh at that is somebody that had to go through that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my dad was shot in the head. We still don't know.
Yeah, my God.
What the hell?
What happened?
Like who it was.
You have that trauma.
It's dramatic, but it's good. I'm like, oh, I feel like I can bond with the blacks now. I feel like I have a little more street cred.
But what happened? What happened there? What's the...
We still don't know. I mean, I haven't really
Was he at the wedding? Was he at the wedding?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then he was murdered like 3-4 months later. So it's June, July, August, September. 4 months after the wedding. Gone. I didn't even get a chance to like show him the fucking photos he was in. Like, here's you in your suit. Here's me walking down the aisle. Nope. The last conversation I had with him was to tell him that I was pregnant, and that was it.
That's awful. Yeah, it's...
Who has the worst story, Matt? Who has the sadder life?
I think it's, you know, it's sometimes you just get.
But you lost your father as a kid.
Yeah.
So that's probably.
Well, I also, my mom, I lost my mom at 30. I mean, she wasn't shot in the head, but she wound up commuting to the city all her life. You know, not all. I mean,
and she had to be a girl
25
boss.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she had to raise me and everything like that. She retired for 25. She retired a month and a half. And I came home from work. I found her dead on the floor.
You found her dead?
Dead on the floor.
No.
Yeah, died of a berry aneurysm. Just like, and she just retired. She was only not even retired 2 months.
Oh man.
And you know what the interesting thing is? The last word she ever said to me was, "You're working too damned hard." And I'm like, and I'm like, then meanwhile I'm going on full cylinders, you know?
Oh man.
So that was, you know, so what the bottom line is that life can pull the rug under you without you even knowing it. So you try to live your life, try to enjoy, you try to savor a lot more as you get older. When Anthony got that house, we had those parties and it was great. And you have these parties like, this isn't going to last forever. I go, savor every minute. And, when he sold the place, and rightly so, it's just too expensive. It's like, yeah, but we got the T-shirt. We had a great time. We have memories we're never going to get. So, you're grateful that when I got married, my in-laws were pretty much elderly at the time, but there was a lot of good times with them. So I go, losing my mother suddenly, I'm like, let me savor the time I have with them.
Yep, you appreciate it.
Which I did. And when they passed away, I'm like, okay, but I saved, the light. And also my sister-in-law, God rest her soul, she was fighting lung cancer. And when she was, my wife was taking care of her at the time, but our marriage was pretty much, we were over. And there was one day that my wife had her sister in the car. And sometimes her and I would cut through so much of the same cloth. We got in a couple of big fights one time. But I went out to the car and I hugged her and I told her I loved her. I started to break down and I told her, even though I told her we'd cut too much from the same cloth, and we would. But I go, it doesn't take the fact of the way that I love you, And 3 months later she was dead. Oh. But we knew it was terminal. So the thing about it is that it's in a way good to tell somebody something while they're alive. Because before my mom died during her retirement, I told her, I thanked her. I go, I'm so good to see you retired. It kicked back. It means a lot to me. So, you get to a point in your life where you try to, you don't take a day for granted.
I'm laughing because Sean Shank Johnson in the chat just wrote the sad Olympics.
We're going to talk about casket fabric next. Now,
I've never had to deal with a casket. Like both parents died, cremated, and I've never found anybody dead before. That's something I hope I never have to deal with.
Now, not only that, I had to take care of, I had to make all the funeral arrangements. Nobody's helping me. I had to go to the funeral home. I had to take the casket fabric, bring it back home, match it with the dress. Like I'm the Bill Blass of my mom, and I think it's the dress my mom wanted to be buried in. I'm going to be going
how do you even know?
Because she mentioned what she wanted to be buried in, and I think I forgot because I'm trying to get everything done. And
are you guys Italian?
Yeah, she's.
Oh yeah, Italians like the open caskets, or
God,
hug the corpse.
The old Italians. 3 days of Cusimano Russo over in Brooklyn.
It's a whole rigmarole. It's a lot.
3 days, they're not coming back. All right, you gotta yank the old ladies. Oh, mamma mia, Mara, we get it. Get out of there. So that's the deal. Now I want to go to a medium. My friend knows this medium, and I want to channel my mom and find out if I better.
I don't know. I think you're more of a large.
Yeah. But you know what's weird? My mom. I used to have dreams of my mom being mad at me, and I talked to my aunt, and she passed away.
After she died, you had these dreams?
Yeah, after she died, and I was talking to my aunt. I go, Aunt Ann. I go, I have an
Aunt Ann too.
Oh, my Aunt Ann passed away. Though.
It's not even my aunt. It's
the death thing going with this. But I told her, I go, Aunt Ann. I go, John, my mom, man. She goes, you know what? I get the same dream sometimes that she's mad.
What?
My aunt, I lost my aunt a couple of years ago. Those dreams stopped. I think when she got up there, she said, you got to knock it off.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
How would this meeting with a medium even go? But that's the thing, because you don't want to give the medium too many hints, because what if they're just there to be a shyster?
Well, my friend went, and they were bringing up stuff that you would never know in a million. I mean, really eerie
the Long
stuff.
Island medium? Which one are you
no,
go
it was
to?
a different medium. However, Eric Tartaglione comic?
Yeah.
His wife is a medium.
Wow.
And I posted
Get the
something.
comedian discount.
Yeah, but I posted something about my Mother's Day, about my mom and my grandmother, and she writes to me and she goes, "Just to let you know, D&D is looking out for you and your father."
Dungeons and Dragons.
And no, the hair on my arm stood up. She doesn't know. I mean, we talked, hung out. She doesn't know my backstory. My mom's name is Donana. My grandmother's name is Dora. And my father, like I said, who knows what's going on, but they're looking after him too. And she would never know that in a zillion years. So I totally believe that stuff.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So I want to go, I want to go to a meeting and see what's going on.
What would you ask that? What would you ask them?
I would, number one, I would ask, is she mad at me, and what would she
be mad at you for?
I don't think
you should be mad at her for letting you find her body.
No, she couldn't. She couldn't. She was dead in a second.
Have an aneurysm. Go out by the dumpster.
I think
restaurant.
Yeah. Well, father's footsteps. I think she's mad at me because she didn't like the dress I buried her in.
Oh, come on!
You don't know my mother. You don't know my mother, my dear.
Ridiculous.
You don't know my mother.
You're a man. Men don't know how to dress. They don't know how to deal with women's clothes.
You don't know
unless you literally have it laid out.
She showed me, and with everything going on, I don't remember. I think that's the dress. I think there was a dress that had fishes on it that I'm like, I can't bury her in that.
The 7 fishes.
Yeah, 7 fishes. The calamar skirt.
Oh my gosh, what a stupid. Oh my. That's so funny. That's so interesting. All right, so you'll ask if
that's where
she's mad at you.
Self-defense mechanism comes in.
Anything else?
Self-defense mechanism. I wanted to ask her how she felt about me getting divorced. I want to ask her or find out at the meeting where my future is, because I don't know where I'm going. I really am at this point in my life.
You're going to the America First Warehouse every Wednesday from 6 to 7.
Thank you very much. We'll be there with Bonnie Scalisi and Michael Spielberg. We'll be there. Be a lovely show about politics. It's going to be very good. Red, right, and true.
Red, right, and true. That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
And where else are you going to be? You're going to be at Uncle Vinny's next Saturday.
Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club down in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. For tickets and information, dial 1-877-UNCLE-VIN or go to UncleVinny'sComedyClub.com.
So you don't have to ask a medium about that. No. But that is cool. I used to like be way more into that stuff. I remember there was a guy, I can't remember his name, but he lived in upstate New York, and I remember I sat in a parking lot, I think on the phone with him for like an hour. Like I gave him my whole, they read like one of these people who reads your chart and tells you, and then they give you a recording of it. I don't know where that is, but
you talked to him in a parking lot on the phone. What, are you buying weed from him too?
No, he lived in upstate New York, and it's just a phone call. Like you pay for like a phone call, and they like read your chart in like a detailed way, and they like tell you all about your life and your future. And God, that was so long ago. I wonder if any of it came true. I don't know where that tape. The tape is probably a. But CD.
I tell you, like with ghosts and stuff like that, I believe in that stuff. I've seen it.
Oh yeah,
I've seen it. There was I was doing a video. Was with the one band I was in. We were doing a video, and there is a restaurant out in Jersey, somewhere in Jersey, and there's an old railroad car that's part of this restaurant. So we go in, we clean up the car to do the video. We're doing a video. These people drop by. We see the cameras. Are you doing? What are you guys doing? I go, we're a band. We're doing a video. Oh, I thought you were doing a ghost hunting thing. And it's like, what do you mean by that? It's because that car is haunted. And I'm like, really? Oh yeah, there's ghosts in there. I'm like, okay. So we're packing up after the video, and my drummer Eddie, who is one of the biggest, straightest shooter guys you'd ever want to meet, goes, holy shit. I go, what happened? She goes, well, you were packing up your keyboards. There was a ghost of a girl looking down at you. And I'm like,
What? You saw the ghost?
She saw the ghost. He saw the ghost. But what I saw one time was there was a place that, oh God, they were, what club was up? It was up in Syracuse.
Funny Bone?
Oh God, I forgot it was a great club. I don't know if you ever worked there. It was a great club.
Probably not. I just did the.
But
Funny Bone, and I bombed.
they would have, he would book, up by the Finger Lakes, a club up there. So we're up there one night, and we do the show. We're all drinking at the bar, and this girl that came over on a boat, she had too much to drink, and she kind of like fell down, and they're trying to take care of her. And meanwhile, while we're doing that, I'm looking at the bottles of booze on the bar, and I just see this bottle of booze fly right off the shelf in front of my eyes. I'm like, what in the fuck? And I look at it, I go, what was it? Oh, that's the Ghost. I go, the Ghost? Yeah, the Ghost does that sometimes. I hope
it wasn't like Grey Goose or something expensive.
It was and I started yelling at the Ghost. I go, what kind of asshole are you? I go, we're trying to help this girl out. You're throwing beer. I go, you should, I go, you come on, bring it.
Like, you should be helping us.
I yelled at a ghost.
It's sometimes you need to yell at a ghost, or be like, at least, pick something cheaper, or pick like the house or like the well liquor.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't care if you're a ghost. I'm not scared of you. I'll kick you. It's like, you're yelling at a ghost, dude.
I'll kick some ghost ass. That's so neat.
Yeah.
So let's see. Well, you had a show. Do you want to talk about how that fell apart?
Yeah. What happened was I did a show for 12 years called Davin's Den. And I would be like the conservative voice on the show, and what happened was, who was the woman that got shot by ICE?
Renee Good.
Now, Renee Good, there was one of my co-hosts posted something about Renee Good on there, and she was
like
great.
How much he cared for her, and
he
was in her life and knew her personally.
And she was great, and she was
she was great.
So what I posted on, I go, no, she was not. I go, she was an agitator. She didn't follow police instructions. She pulled in front of an officer that had no choice to save his own life. And I go, Renee Good riddance. And so I caught a lot of heat for that. And
is it a tweet?
It was a comment on a meme.
Okay.
So basically what happens is I'm working down at the Jersey Shore, and I have the handout cards for Davin's Den, and we're on Talk Media Network. We're on there, but they don't have us on our website. And I'm looking at this other project that my partner's involved with, and things aren't going. Well, I don't know how they go, but there was a little thing with me that they owed me on something, and I'm going.
They owed you money?
Yeah, and I'm waiting to get the rest of the money in, but I'm looking at the cards, and I'm working with Adam Ferrara. It's a mob scene, and I go, you know what? I go, I'm not even going to hand the cards up because I don't even know if people could get to this link or whatever. And I said to myself, my pal is going through a lot this year. He's trying to get this project through, and I go, I'll hand out the card. At another time, but I go, I'm going to give another year, and I'll discuss it in 2027. By that, he should know what he's doing with this. I love the man. I adore him. If you're watching, I love you and I adore you. Okay. Thank you. What happened was the next day I get a tweet. We don't celebrate people dying.
From him.
Yeah. From him. We don't celebrate people dying on our show. And we don't. And I'm like,
yeah, that's not you celebrating.
And I go, I wasn't celebrating. You mentioned this, and I go, I didn't mention that. I go, look, you're more concerned about this. How about this other project that they owe money on? How about this other station that we're not? Aren't you concerned about that? Oh, well, it seems that you're not happy. I didn't say I wasn't happy.
Oh, wow.
I am just bringing up some certain things.
That, even the little bit that you have told me, it sounds like this person was looking for a way to get you out, like looking to make a problem.
I think I could be wrong, but what I think is, because what happened was during the whole exchange, and I want to preface this that it's just business, okay? Because basically we worked the show together, last week. And we were making play. There was no animosity. There's, it was like we were kind of, but this project is one of the biggest things he'll ever do. And it was, and it's based on a certain thing that he's been investing a lot of time in, blah, 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 blah. And I think the company might have had a problem because what he wrote me is, he goes, well, you say things, he goes, the cartoonist on the project had a problem with something you posted.
The cartoonist?
And because there's going to be animation in the vignettes that he's doing. So I go, first of all.
Who cares?
I go, well, I told him, I go, first of all, the cartoonist works for you. He doesn't work for me. I go, I'm a minor character on this. I have really no horse in this race. And I go, if the cartoonist doesn't like it, have him draw a cliff and jump the fuck off of it.
He's a moron lefty, and they love their group think, and if you don't subscribe to all the same ideology, then they want you out.
But you know, I think he was coming under heat. So another thing I said is, you know, like, well, we don't celebrate people. So I said, well, why don't we do this? Because basically there was a segment on there, Watch Joe Defend This. And I finally had time to, because I was doing the red, white, and true intros. So I said, I have all the equipment out. Let me do the stinger for Watch Joe Defend This, because he's been asking for it for months. And I finally got to do it. So I said, here, I'll send you the stinger. I just did it an hour ago to Let's See Joe Defend This. And I go, let's discuss it. And I go, and I think it would be great radio. And it wasn't even like, I'll make mincemeat out of him. No, he's a very good debater, and he could probably turn me into mincemeat. But I think it would be great radio. We get everything out. We're entertaining our audience. Never even acknowledged it.
Wow. So
it leads me to believe that the people on one of these projects
don't like that you're conservative.
Don't like things that I'm posting. So I'm like, you know, so he goes, and I showed him the thing with one of our things that we're not even listed on this thing. He goes, well, I guess you don't want to. I go, you know, and I said, well, I guess, you know, that's that. So that's how it ended. But I get it. But I wish what he would have done,
let's be honest,
is if he called me and said, dude, you got to back down. Please, could you back down? And I would have done it, you know, because he just did it in a lectury way, you know, we don't, you know, but if he, and I was talking to my other friend that I'm in a band with, we're going to be doing a couple of shows. And I told him, I go, John, there's been a couple of times I posted some stuff and you've called me and said, Joe, could you please not, you know, and I'm like,
what do they want you to just delete the post?
Well, not delete the post, but just, you know, because some things it reflects on a band. But and I'm like, okay, that's fine. But the thing about this is that I have no horse in either race.
This is just from you saying good riddance?
Yeah. You know, but not even good riddance. I'm like, he goes, well, I guess you don't want to do this. And I go, well, I don't want to be handcuffed like this. Well, I guess that's that. So the thing about it is I believe that he heard from this one entity he's doing that they don't like things I post. The thing about it is, call me and tell me as
a conversation
as a friend.
After 12 years of doing a show together.
He, like I said, he's going through some stuff. I adore this man. If he said, dude, could you just, done. It's done. I just felt I was being lectured, and I'm not going to be lectured on two things where I'm writing a blog. I don't know if people are reading it. I'm doing clips for iHeartRadio. I don't know, haven't heard any feedback with that. I'm going up and doing three pre-show tapes, and I don't see us having a presence on the website, you know, and I just felt that there's not enough there to keep me from, you know, and I'm renegade. You know, I mean, I'm not, you know,
you have like normal takes.
Yeah. I go, if there's other things like a project, so, you know, yeah, that's fine. You know, so I'm not like this loose cannon renegade.
It's so crazy hypocritical to say that you saying Renee Good Riddance is celebrating her death when you look at what the left, look what they said about Charlie Kirk for weeks.
But the thing about it is that, and I mentioned it to him, and I'll get to the other story I was telling you about earlier before we did the gig. I go, I could call me on the carpet and I will list you. My whole thing was she did this and this and this. And from liberal white women, they think that because there never has been any repercussions that everybody rolls over and plays dead, that they feel that they are invincible. They could obstruct justice. They could film. They can make this.
They can run a man over in their car. Yeah. It's no big deal.
And what happened is they took it a step too far, and it's high time that something that they got their justice. I'm sorry.
And it was after this man had already suffered an injury, been run over, I think.
Don't be there. Don't be a problem. Don't be this. So with that in mind, I go to therapy, and I'm in therapy now. My therapist has known me for 12 years. So not only talking about my, you know, my situation that I'm in and where should I take this situation that I'm in.
The relationship. Yeah,
my relationship, where I should take my relationship. I also discussed, because she knows about the show that I've been on for years. And I said, I'm also, I also am not on the show anymore. And she goes, what? Now, before this, somebody was saying to me, she goes, you know, therapists are very liberal.
They are. I had a therapist. You know? She was really liberal.
Yeah. She goes, they're very liberal, crazy liberal. You might want to. And I go, well, I got to mention this to see. So I told her what happened. And she goes, Well, you said good riddance. I said Renee good riddance. Why would you?
It's a pun.
Why would you say something like that? I go.
This woman doesn't understand you're a comedian.
She knows I'm a comedian. She knows I'm a comedian. And she goes, why would you say something like that? That's not like you.
Because it's funny.
I said it because she was being an issue. She wasn't being an issue. I go, she came from another state. She lived in town. It turns out she just moved there. So she was out of state.
She left her kid or kids, plural, to go be a agitator.
That's not true. That's in her words.
She doesn't have kids?
No, she does. That's not true. They were in school. I'm going back and forth.
So wow, this therapist knows a lot of details about this.
Now you know me, okay? And you know my position as a second mind. I'm getting into battle mode to defend, and I'm like, I'm with my therapist.
She should not be putting in her 2 cents like that.
Could you just tell me that I might be ending something with the love of my life to take a chance on, could we just stick to that, please?
Wow.
But we didn't, and
it's very unprofessional of her.
But well, we were discussing it, but she said something to me that it was kind of like something I didn't realize about myself. She goes, so we go through everything. And at the end of the session, she goes, I just want to bring the other thing up. And I go, I don't want to, she goes, no. She goes, when you were saying that, you were like this, and this, and this. And you kind of say something without the facts. And I didn't want to say to her, I could back up everything I said. I want to make it an easy day. But what did raise my eyebrow, which was interesting, is I am very cut and dry with stuff. And my father was like that. My brother is like that. My mother was like that. That's all I've ever known. That here are the facts, like when my dad, your father committed suicide, you're going to be a latchkey kid, blah, blah, that, blah, 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 blah. And there was a friend of mine that she was going through a really rough patch. And it was a very low point in her life. She was almost losing her place, blah, blah, blah. And I said, look, this is this, and you got to do, and she broke down. And she said, how could you say that to me? How could you?
Because I'm Italian.
And say, I felt awful. I said, look, I care about you so much. I would never say to do so, but that's not what I wanted to hear.
You're keeping it real.
But the thing
100.
about it is sometimes you women don't want to hear keeping it real. She's told me that. So I was talking, we were hanging last night, a bunch of us, and I told her, I go, I want to explain something. And I explained to her the story. And I said, I didn't mean any malice. I go, that's all I know. And she gave me a big hug, because she goes, and I go, I wanted you to hear, because I didn't know that. I only found this out on Tuesday.
You hugged the therapist?
No.
Okay.
My friend, right. Because basically what she was having, she was almost losing a place. But I go, look, you need to do this. Blah, blah, blah. And she started crying.
Okay, so you were just like,
she goes, why do you think I would know that? I go, because I didn't know that you knew, blah, blah, blah. And you're black. I go, so I go, and I told her, I go,
you're being a man. You're being correct.
But I was just stating cold hard facts the way I had been stated to them by my father, my mother, and I didn't think it was being heavy handed with her that night, but I said, I'm sorry. That's why I like that. So she gave me a hug last night and stuff like, and like that.
So what's happening with the therapist?
I'll go back. It was a little awkward, but I'll go back and I'll just try to keep it away. But the thing about it is that when I saw that meme, I spelled out, and it just gets to a point where the liberal mind doesn't want to hear fact. And I'm not going to go, I'm in therapy. I'm not going to sit there and go back and forth.
Waste your time that you're paying for.
To argue, I got other fish to fry. Things I don't know the answer on, so I could, but I don't want to debate my therapist on this.
And she should not be debating you.
I mean, and basically I've been behind the eight because basically on my old show, Davin it depends on the topic. Davin, you would think would be very, liberal, but sometimes no. Sometimes you think I'm going to be liberal. And we would do this whole thing on a conservative thing that I didn't disagree with. And we're doing a story. He goes, Joe, what do you think? Yeah, I agree. That's not right there. What they're doing is, so now what do we do? But anyway, so I'm not afraid to be called on the carpet. I'm not afraid to be debated with, but I'm not going to do it with my therapist.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm there for. And I could be very factual. I could be very to the point. And the thing about it, Chrissy, is I'm starting to go into battle mode.
Part of me wants you to find a new therapist, but I understand the whole like, oh, this person knows you already. You've invested so much time in like her getting to know you, but at the same time, like, ugh, that's a big turn off.
But through, and you could see she was kind of pissed at me because she's like, I can't believe you could say something like that. Why would you say something?
I feel
I'm
like
starting to give my reasons. I'm starting to give it my reasons why. And here's the interesting thing.
You have to defend your freaking personality.
Here's the interesting thing. I wanted to go on my old show and go on and defend it the same way with somebody that pretty much probably could cut me to ribbons on it, but I could go head to head. But he could probably, maybe he'll win in the end. But they didn't want to discuss. Didn't want to discuss it, and I think it's another entity leaning on him where he doesn't want to. And when I watched the show briefly last week. And the intro's gone. Mention of me is gone.
Wow.
And I know why he's doing it. And I get why he's doing it. And I want him to succeed with this project. He's invested.
He sounds like a shitty friend and a shitty partner.
He's not. He
should have called you.
Maybe we'll have a phone call one day. I think we'll hash it out. I thought maybe we could hash it out the gig, but it just wasn't right, because a friend of ours was kind of an intermediary. He's been, I was talking with him on the way to the show, and he goes, well, you should. I go, well, I wanted to. I go, you know what? It's not even an organic, it's got to be organic. And it's like, I know why I have an idea why he's doing it. I love him. I'm wishing nothing but success. There's no animosity. There's no, vindictiveness, because, and I wish him well. Will happen. Will finally come out. So I'm at the point in my life. I'm doing it. And the thing about it is, Chrissy, is that we had a blow up 10 years ago, and I created this character, Dick Eldorado. And I'm probably going to do it again because I like doing it. But I did it as like vindictiveness to him. I'm going to show him. And it's not even this. It's not even like I have other stuff I got to do. Red, White, and True was in the works while Davinston was going anyway, and you were even on the show, him and Pip were even on our show, then there was, so us getting the gig at America First just happened. I was going to announce it that night, but whatever I'm doing now is not being vindictive against what he's doing. There's a play that I've had to do a rewrite for almost a year. I had my heart issues and I couldn't do it, and I'm getting that done. I want to do a Dick Eldorado thing. I have to get my video clips done, my website set up. So everything I'm doing is to please me, to make me happy. Nothing to vindictive against somebody else.
You don't have time for that.
No, because I'm going to tell you something right now. When I had my triple bypass, they're wheeling me down the hallway, and the doctor told me there was a 1% chance I'm not going to make it.
Just 1%?
1%. I say 25% in my act because I do a joke that I have to trump it up. But anyway, trump it up. But basically, when they're wheeling you down that hallway and you realize this could be it, you're looking at your life. And I'm like, okay, I set my ex-wife up. She's okay. I did this. I did that. I did that. And I'm like, all right, if I'm meeting God in 10 minutes, I'm ready.
Wow.
So after I made it, I told myself that the rest of my life, I'm going to make it so when that time comes again, I can go down the list. And it's like, took care of my this, that, I gave him my blessing. I wished him the best, hopefully everything went, it doesn't matter. You want the best for the guy. And if this is why the guy's doing it and there's a miscommunication, I want the best he's going through a lot, right? I want the best for the guy.
You have a lot of you're handling this better than most people would.
Yeah, but it's because at the end of the day, it's the end of the day.
It's the end of the day. It's so true. Right, Matt? What have you learned from all this?
Big takeaway is just treasure family members, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's true, because you don't know when they'll be dead or shot randomly or take your dog one day and not come back. I'm still pissed about the dog.
You're definitely more pissed at the dog than Dad actually killing you.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, and you want to know something? After my dad's suicide, I didn't, and I was a kid. I didn't think it screwed me up. And we're going to put the casket lid up for this one. So, I didn't think it really bothered me. And my ex-wife would go, because we didn't have kids. She goes, it's your father's committing suicide. No, it's not. It has nothing to do with that. And it took me about to 50 to realize it did. Because in my father's suicide note, he wrote to my mom, I let you and Joseph down. And I never wanted to let anybody down. And I didn't want the responsibility that I could have let somebody down. So if we didn't have kids, we would never let anybody down.
Wow.
And I felt bad with my ex-wife because we didn't have kids, but I had a hand in it. I mean,
you had your hand up there?
Yeah. I was
my hand in it.
I was telling I was telling my brother that we were going to try artificial insemination, and my brother is a retired dairy farmer.
Wow.
So I'm telling the story to him, and he goes, well, it's still on the farm. We get the semen in from the bull. You would just take it, you would shove it in there.
Wow.
And I go, we're going to try a needle.
Wow.
Hysterical.
I thought the cows had sex.
Well, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't. So you got to get some bull semen.
Sometimes she feels fat, and they just aren't.
You got to shove the old bull semen in there.
Wow, ladies.
Yeah.
There are options.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's get to some of these. Well, super chats. I think it might have been just Night Owl. Night Owl, thanks for the $5. Joe Currie is a great name. It sounds like an alias the Joker would use in a Batman movie. I like it.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow. Guys are some cheap bastards. No, I'm kidding.
Well, there was a giant one at the start.
Oh my God. Yeah, how dare I say that? Raider, of course. Thank you, Raider, with the 7834. What was that? I don't remember. Wow, that's an interesting point though, that you came around and realized like, okay, yeah, I didn't want to have kids because I didn't want to. Our parents have so much of an effect on us, like whether we realize it or not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And it's like, and half of the way I do things, there's conditions. And the therapist, when she's not arguing with me about politics, was telling me, when you were a kid, you were raised under, conditions. And till this day, I'm living under conditions, and sometimes you don't want to live under conditions. So we'll, see what happens.
You could still have a kid. You could still bust one in someone and.
Yeah, but I'm too old to have a kid. I don't want to,
No, look at friggin', what's his name? Who's that guy? Who's 80 who just had a kid?
There's
Al Pacino?
A lot. Yeah. Al Pacino.
Yeah.
De Niro. I don't know. There's a lot of people way old. Dudes, you can.
I mean, you have to be ready for the fact that like by the time they turn like 20 or something, you're going to be extremely like if you're 80,
true.
then
I'm going to be 80 years old. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to be 80 years old.
But
let me tell you something. A lot of these, it's funny. A lot, like I said, I've been hanging out with my friends, and they're dating these guys, and they're in their 40s, and the one started dating this guy, and the other one is dating, and these girls in their 40s. It's like they want a lot. It's like one of them like, oh yeah, we were talking. It's like
what's a lot like?
Well, they want to know how much they're making. They want the salary, and
Wow.
I was saying, I go, what are you looking for, a D&B? It's well, no, I want to know what they're making, and blah blah blah. And they want to have kid, and blah, blah. I'm like, can you wait for the salad to be served?
Wow. I can't
I find that in women in their
galling.
40s, divorced women in their 40s and stuff like that. They're two of them, my friends, we've been working on this project. So it's like, and they're talking and, well, yeah, I want, and I'm like, wow.
Their standards should not be so high.
And I think,
just be happy somebody's
but
out
the thing
with you.
about it is that, I'm 20 years older than them, and I've got 20 years more life than them. And you're looking at what they're talking about, and I go, it's not such a big deal.
Huh.
It's not such a big deal.
What, dating?
Well, dating is a bit, but what you're looking for,
Okay.
I know what you're looking for. Maybe that's, but I've already been past that. I just, and that's the thing about, dating. If I dated somebody that young, I don't know if they would, want me because, I want to have kids. Well, that's what the one with the 28-year-old that I dated. I want to have a baby. I go, okay. go have a baby, not with me. I'm not going to have a baby, and she just was blunt. She goes, you're not going to leave your current situation. You don't have a baby. I got to go. Goodbye, and ghosted me,
Well, good for her for being like, you're not going to break up with someone. Like usually most women want to just date you and not have you.
I told her, because she was like this other guy. So the other guy was her age. I go with him. Go. And the funny thing is that, that generation, they don't give you the talk. The talk, the friends, you don't get the talk. You don't get they just go. You'd like.
Oh, you mean like the breakup talk?
Well, the talk, or like, I just want to be friends. The talk. You don't like the talk. I don't know if you got the talk. I've gotten the talk plenty of time. I don't like the talk, but at least you know where you stand.
True.
They just ghost you now, and at least with the talk, you have closure.
Well, how many dates? It depends on how many dates you've done before. Like a ghosting, I think like is okay if you've only had a couple of dates. What do you think, Matt? You're part of the youth. But you're also like a nice guy, so.
Well, I mean,
you're probably not ghosting anybody.
Well, I'd say like probably after a few dates.
I think if it was
after like 3, you probably want to see like what's going on.
Especially like if it's understood between the two of you, like, yeah, this date is not going well. Like we're not leaving. There's no goodbye kiss. There's no like, oh yeah, let's hang out again. Like if there's no in-person plans to hang out again, like I can understand.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we'll probably
But when this
ghost each
person
other.
kicks their way into your life, and like I had a hand in this too, I'm not going to say it in, but I didn't. After what she put me through, a go to hell would have been nice. Really, a go to hell would have been nice.
How long were you seeing her for?
About 3 months.
Yeah, that's significant. You can't ghost somebody after 3 months.
No.
And there was one night that there was one day that we had a gig we were going to do. We had to hand out flyers in Staten Island. So we get back to the island, we go to Ben's Deli, get a nice sandwich. And she goes, I want a kid. So you like this other guy? I go with this other guy. And I'm like, well, just tell me, whatever. So the other guy, he had flyers to the show because they were hanging out together. But I looked at the car and I looked at the license plate and I go, okay, I know that car, that's fine. So I tell her, I go, look, I'm middle in the Governor's tonight. You want to go? No, I'm kind of tired. I'm going to sleep. I go, and she always she wanted to be she was calm, and I go, all right, something's up. So I go, all right. So I'm coming back from Governor's, and she was staying at an Airbnb in Stony Brook, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop by there. And see what's going on. Lo and behold, guess what car's in the driveway?
Not her car?
No, the guy's car. And I'm like, I thought so. So I go to my house. I drive to Middle Island, which is 30 minutes away. I get all her shit that's in my garage.
Wow.
And I put it behind the guy's car.
Cool.
And I call her and I go, hey, it's me. Oh, hi, what's going on? I go, tell your boyfriend not to back up. He's going to run all your stuff over.
Yes, I love it.
But I took her back.
What?
Because I was stupid.
After that boss move of putting all her
Because
stuff,
she's like, I love you.
Because then she probably respected you because you put all her shit in the road.
But you know what she said? I love you. I'm going to kill myself if you break up. I'm going to kill you.
Oh, that old line.
Yeah, well, you know what? The whole thing with suicide kind of scares me,
Oh, no. She probably knew that, too.
Yeah, played me like a fiddle. After all of that.
Bitch.
After all of that,
Is this the one you're currently in a thing with?
No.
So then you eventually broke it off.
Yeah, she had enough of me. She left. Because she wanted me to break it off with the other one, and I wouldn't do it.
Wow. So you still like the one you're with more than this other one?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't have any regrets?
Yeah. Okay. I like the one I'm with more than anything else in the world.
Okay.
But the one I'm with.
Does she know that?
Oh yeah. She doesn't want to know. She doesn't know if she wants to make a commitment. So.
Because it would be a little messy.
Yeah. So it's yeah. So So yeah, it's interesting.
We should send her this podcast.
No. I gotta pay.
Oh no, this is perfect. We were just wrapping it up.
Oh, good. All right, I can hold it in.
It's been like 2 hours.
Joe, tell the people where they can find you and follow you.
Now I feel bad. I should have just strung it out.
Don't feel bad.
Right.
I should have.
You can feel me. The website's still under construction, so it's joecurriecomedy.com. Also, Facebook page Joe Currie Nation, or my page Joe Currie on Facebook. And like I said, I'll be in Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club next Saturday. January 31st. I believe the show is at 8 o'clock. Go to UncleVinny'sComedyClub.com or dial 1-877-UNCLE-VIN. Also, my other podcast, my new one, Red, Right, and True, will be starting February 4th, Tuesday, 6 o'clock to 7. Go to theamericafirstwarehouse.com for that.
I love it. Joe, onwards and upwards. You have a bright future ahead of you. You're so funny.
And so are you, my dear.
Oh my God, stop it. Even for a woman. Guys, tune back into NightMayr this Saturday. We're going to be having the one, the only Gavin McGinnis. He'll be here in the studio. Who knows?
You got Gav coming in?
He agreed to it at a last time I saw him. So we'll see.
Give him my regards. Somebody said, hey.
I will. Your warm regards or what temperature?
I will give him warm regards.
Okay, I'm going to give him cold regards.
I understand why.
It's going to be fun. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the super chats, and we will